I feel like I'm part of a family.
Don't miss the opportunity of a lifetime.
Turn around! Now!
In this video, I'm gonna talk about System Shock 2023 Remake. Hey, do you want to take a trip to 1994 game design? Because have I got the experience for you! Your favorite keys are gonna become F5 and F9. Half-Life does not exist yet, we have nobody to teach us the right way to do things, and so we must make do with the seat of our pants. To say that the experience is not streamlined is to put it very, very charitably. Modern standards are not going to be kind. 1994 standards saw the whole package as groundbreaking. As far as realism and immersion goes, I agree with the assessment. You have no waypoints, no objectives, no hand-holding whatsoever. It's just you, a backpack of items, and you have to figure out what to do based on what you find and what the audio logs are telling you. The audio logs are absolutely not flavor lore, and many of them tell you pretty explicitly what you should be doing next. That's going to be obvious to some, and obscure to others. Depending on your upbringing and your generation, you'll have forged the reflex to explore every single nook and cranny for clues, or you'll have gotten used to skipping over the fluff in favor of concentrating on the objective. An average game made today is going to cater to both crowds because you can explore or you can beeline and both paths lead to victory. But here, 1994 is butting its head in. And if you're not ready, if you haven't gotten the primer talk, you don't have a rude awakening on you, so much as you get drop-kicked out of bed and chased around until you find your way out of the bedroom. The basic story is as follows. You've chosen to try and hack into the local mega corporation for funsies, and it turns out they have a problem with that. But somebody among the suits promises to give you a shiny new cybernetic gizmo if you can tamper with their state-of-the artificial intelligence, so that your benefactor can do his shady bullshit while the AI is too busy having a mental breakdown to notice what's going on. Get the job done, get the thing installed, go to sleep for half a year of recovery, and Bob's your uncle. Conveniently, you wake up after the crazy AI has abolished the Department of Education, deported every would-be undesirable to a certain death, and single-handedly crashed the stock market into a smoldering crater. Things can go two ways from that point. You either take very slow baby steps, conserve your tiny bit of ammo to an obsessive extent, and struggle with figuring out what you can get away with, or you take command of your destiny and you play it out as if it was real life. Because at the end of the day, the game seeks to mimic a real-life situation. My footage is going to reveal, much to my embarrassment, that I fell completely into the former category. The interface is there only for you to access your items. Every other bit in the corners of your screen is provided by your in-game cybernetic implant. What you see is what your character sees 100%. There is no game master. There is no convenient entity or onboard GPS keeping you updated on what you're supposed to do. There is no diamond icon in your field of vision to let you know what button to push to advance the plot. You are on your own. Completely. You better take out some paper and a pencil to take notes. It's on you to piece your own objective together. Sometimes you don't even have an objective yet, and you have to explore to know what it is. If you're not ready for it, you're gonna wonder why the game is being so unexpectedly obtuse. That was pretty unusual even at the time of the original release. The quick save and quick load dance, that was not unusual. Things could get brutal as all hell in most shooting games. The inventory traps, that wasn't unusual either for puzzle games. I felt that it was very possible to softlock yourself into an impossible situation by not having picked up the innocuous-looking speck in some room on the first level. It's the combination of the two that's unusual. It was like somebody had made a bastard child between a shooting game and a puzzle adventure. And I don't mean the ones from LucasArts. I mean Sierra. I mean the early King's Quest, where you had to type all your actions and you could spend hours just trying to figure out how to make the game understand what you wanted to do at a basic level, only to realize that you had gotten into a no-win situation the moment you entered the castle. That's puzzle traumatic stress disorder for you. If you haven't played the original, then some adjustments will have to be made. No jumping in with the usual lackadaisy approach. Let me give a few hints so you don't go through what I've gone through. Listen to every audio log very closely. Use your map markers with a vengeance to note points of interest. Do the first floor, and when you reach the elevator, start a new game and do it all over with the knowledge you gained. Pay attention to how you do your second run, and that will be closer to the way you want to play for the rest of the game. Find a safe spot where you can recover, and make it your base of operations where you can offload anything you don't want to carry with you right away. You can get away with a whole lot of unexpected things because the usual video game assumptions do not get observed. You can drop something anywhere and it will stay where it is until the end. Stuff does not despawn or fall through the cracks. But again, it's not like the game puts conveniently placed shelves and boxes for you to put your items into, or even hint that this place would be a good headquarters for you. Thus, it's likely that your base of operations will look like an average teenager's bedroom. So it goes. You don't have levels in sequence. You can go to and fro at will, and you will do exactly that many times over. If you're a newcomer, you might wonder why things are the way they are. The reason is simple. The people wanted it. The financial backers got together and they told the studio, make it exactly like the original. Faults and glitches and all. Just with prettier visuals. And thus, the game was made faithful to the letter. It's gonna be a shot-for-shot remake to the insiders, and a shit-for-shit remake to the outsiders. Because if you are an outsider, you are not the target audience. The target audience is the Xennial cohort looking back at the past with rose-colored glasses. And as the saying goes, the customer is always right in terms of taste. The developers had two choices: bring the game to modern standards of gameplay and design, only to get murdered in broad daylight by the cohort, or keep things exactly as per the standards of the 90s and risk, at worst, some grumbling from the newcomers who expected a little more guidance. Under the circumstance, the choice was obvious. My footage is pretty telling, in that I didn't approach things aggressively enough, and that I kept my good weapons and my good ammo for an encounter that only exists in my imagination well beyond the end credits. I think I forgot the existence of the assault rifle entirely. I fired the plasma cannon exactly once, and the shot bounced right back into my own face. I needed 3 grenades to kill an enemy, 2 to remember how far I can throw grenades, and 1 to actually be on target. You know what? Pause the video, and let me know in the comments what kind of loadout you ended up carrying in the latter stages. Mention if you played the original or not. I think it might lead to some interesting responses. In my case, I made do with the lightsaber most of the time, so that led to some pretty interesting, aka questionable playstyle decisions, along with many trips to the medical room. Once you find the medical room, though, you get infinite lives. Period. Whoever designed the game kept that in mind because the big bad can set up all kinds of unfair traps against you, and she does it with a vengeance. Every push of a button and every flick of a switch is liable to open up a secret panel from which all kinds of nasties pour out with guns blazing. It's hard to justify the use of a healing item when I can go from full health to nothing in a matter of seconds, and I can come back to life as many times as I want. Death is so cheap that it takes away all the tension. But at the same time, death means having to retrace your steps to resume where you left off, and if you do that often enough, it can become so much of an annoyance that you start to use healing items just for the sake of not having to walk all the way over again. On higher difficulties, it means losing precious time when you have a time limit imposed onto you. I did not play the higher difficulty level. That said, it's kind of tempting to do another playthrough now that I've got the knowledge in hand. It's the kind of game that feels meant to be played many times over. The fresh playthrough is brutal and unforgiving, and the second playthrough has you flipping the unfairness on your enemy because now you know where all the pitfalls happen to be. before you walk into them. That wasn't exactly unknown at the time. A console game had only so much real estate to be on, and it had to extend the playtime somehow, usually by being insanely hard. Even on a PC, you could only fit so much content, and the average kid didn't have 3 billion video games to play. You just kept playing the same game, over and over, until you forgot all the bullshit parts, and you remembered only yourself having mastered every single aspect. Fresh experience be damned and forgotten. For the people who remember these times, you'll be right at home. You'll wake up your long-buried intuitive notion of when it's a good time to quick save, when it's a good time to slow save, and how to navigate a world made before that heretic concept they call quality of life. For the newcomers, brace yourselves. It was the style at the time, and you're being introduced to it with a very pretty presentation, so you can't dismiss the game on account of the graphics being shit. This game is made exactly as it was envisioned, for better or worse. Is it proper? Yes. Technically correct? Also yes. Impenetrable? Absolutely yes. In short, this game is legalese.
She's crazy like